I get
word?
it. Like, I want somebody that can eat me out, and then I want somebody that like enjoys BJ's, right? Like, I love that. And then I need somebody that just like, I don't know, that worships my feet. Like, I don't know.
But I'm not.
I want
I'm
that
not saying
all to be the same person.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. And I can already tell you this episode is going to be off the hook. You know why? Because I got my OG co-host, Amy, in the house.
What's up?
How are you?
Hello. It's been so long.
It's been so long since you've been in here in person. We love
it. Hasn't it? Yeah, it's been, I don't even know how long that's been. But yeah, it's been a long time.
Right.
Long time. I just happened to be passing through, you
Yeah,
know?
you just happened to stop by.
I just happened to stop by and say hello.
And I've got my assistant, Lily, with us again today. How are you, Lily?
I'm great.
Lily
Happy to be here.
has been providing me with all kinds of entertaining I guess, wrap-ups of her dating life every day.
Yeah.
And it's quite... yeah, we could do a podcast just on Lily's dating.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe you should start your own.
Oh, well, no, she should just stick with us. It's just like little mini segments.
I mean, we could do an episode every single week on Lily's dating life.
That's awesome, though. That's good.
Don't exaggerate.
Yeah.
Gotta get out there.
Hey,
girl.
so today we've got a lot to talk about. I've been thinking about a lot of things I want to talk about today.
Oh God, that's dangerous.
I know. This is consuming my soul.
Yeah, he wouldn't even talk to me in the car. He's like, "No, I don't want it. I want it to be now."
Well, she starts chatting, and I was like, "Hush," because I'm going to start saying
Zip
things
your lips. Go ahead.
that I want to talk about on the show. We've got a few listener letters we're going to go over, and So, what's going on with you, Lily? Tell me about your last week of dating.
It was adventurous. It was fun. I went on several different dates, and had a good time.
So you're getting to experience all kinds of personalities, quirkiness of some of the men.
I'm getting lots of nice dinner dates. I have not had to cook all week.
Really?
Oh shit.
That's kind of fun.
That's nice.
That's what you do when you're in your 50s and you're retired and kind of retired. She's not really retired, but
I was gonna say
she retired from
I'm retired from phase 1.
phase 1.
Yeah.
But phase 2 is a completely different animal.
Completely different.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
It's so fun.
It is fun. So what have you been learning? What have you learned this last week?
Yeah, there you go. This last week alone.
Oh, I have learned that there's such a job as a professional cuddler.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is, yes. We've got to get into this one. It is so interesting.
It was. I went on a date with a guy, and
he had a very religious background.
yes, he was from a very religious background, had been married 25 years, was pretty devastated by the divorce, and really had sort of a distant marriage for quite a bit of that time. There was really no affection or intimacy, and he really just loved physical touch, physical connection, and just cuddling. He didn't want more than that. He paid women to cuddle him by the hour. Mm-hmm. Paid $100 an hour for women to professionally cuddle him.
You know, I was telling somebody that story last night, and they're like, sign me up. I love cuddling.
I love cuddling too.
Yeah, you'd love cuddling.
And that's all he wanted to do was pay me to cuddle him.
Yeah. Doesn't, like...
How long did you cuddle
I know,
for?
that's what how long does this last, and how long does the effect last?
Well,
like, after a while, you're like...
I'm curious, like, what...
I think it varies.
But how long did you cuddle him?
3 hours.
How do you, I just don't.
It was
Amy is not a cuddler.
I'm not, well, okay, so I will cuddle for 2 minutes, less,
Like 5 minutes.
Five at most, and then I'm like, okay, let's do something else. But I have severe ADD, and I'm like, it's just gonna be all over the place. I just get anxious.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not used to affection, but
I'm very
3
affectionate.
hours, like how did I don't even know.
Well,
I
I mean,
would say,
just-
give me an example. Like, how do you? What do you?
So he just started out like massaging my feet. So that's,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
just,
Well, that's not cuddling.
well, but I mean,
That was the start.
It started that way, and
How long did that
advanced
last?
to like holding time? Probably, I don't know,
so like massages.
15 or 20 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
He just really needed physical touch and intellectual intimacy. Just getting
Yeah.
to know someone and being comfortable with someone, and
Someone genuinely just being there.
someone to listen and communicate and hold him and caress him and vice versa, because he wanted to hold someone.
Was he really good at it?
Yeah, he really was.
So since he made that very clear up front, did you feel like that took the pressure off the getting to the intimacy part?
Yeah.
Or on the date?
Did you get to intimacy parts?
Um,
Did you get to intimacy parts? Like, sorry, I repeated myself there, but I whispered.
not full on intimacy. No,
Yeah.
no.
Like intercourse. I don't.
There
What
is- No.
what do
there-
you classify as intimate? So
There wasn't intercourse.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Have
That's
sexual
right, yes.
relations with that cuddler.
okay, Mr. Clinton.
But he did tell me a very shocking story about one of his previous cuddlers. So one of his cuddlers was a breastfeeding mom, and she offered him to breastfeed, and he went for it. And I was shocked. Like, you should have seen my face. I'm like, you really did that? He's like, yes, I did. And he goes, it was beautiful and it was intimate and it was really special. Like, I really enjoyed that experience.
Amy's face right now.
I mean, I've tasted breast milk before, and it's not good. So
Yeah.
I don't think that's.
I breastfed my child, and I cannot imagine a full-grown man nursing.
Like how old?
Huh?
How old is this guy?
He was 50, early 50s.
Wow.
Early 50s.
So first of all, in the BDSM world, I have experience. So I'm not like shocked. For me, the taste. I remember the taste. That's what that look was for. Is like the taste of bread. I'm like, it just didn't taste good. But it's very common. It's much more
That's
common.
a common fetish?
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? I told that story to
My best
the girl
friend
I was.
and her husband did it. He he was just curious.
I told that story to the girl I met last
mean-
night, and she actually wasn't surprised. She'd heard of that too, but it was
Yeah.
more of a couple. It was like they were husband and wife.
Yeah, that's my
This
best
was
friend.
the first time
Yeah.
I heard of that. And yeah, I guess it might be different if it was your spouse, but
Person,
this was just a random cuddler.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of weird, but I mean it's you know that her milk's good because she's not doing drugs, probably.
Yeah.
Like
Hopefully.
she's not. I don't know. I mean, if she were to drink beforehand, he'd be all fucked up. How'd you get messed up? I was sucking on a
Does
tit.
alcohol transfer to breast milk?
I don't know. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yes.
Surely.
Yes. It's called pump and dump. So if you want to have a glass of wine
She'll know.
when you're breastfeeding, you have to
Pump and dump.
pump and pour that out because you don't want to give
Pump and dump.
the
All of a sudden, your baby is
the
loopy.
alcoholic. Yeah. You don't want to give the alcohol milk to your baby.
Oh wow!
I never did that, but I have had friends who did the pump and dump so that they could have a glass of wine just once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a thing, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can get jacked up on breast milk. Let's get fucked up on breast milk, people.
I feel like this whole episode is now about breast milk.
Oh no, we're gonna move on, but only when this segment is finished.
Right? Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
No,
so-
that is a little much, though. That would be, especially just meeting him because you hadn't met him before.
No.
Like, that's a lot. But he obviously that's the thing about this site, though, right? That's this. Not the site, but this lifestyle is supposed to be non-judgmental because people, either way, what we do is taboo. And I think it's okay to be open. If they do reject you, I say, screw it. You probably didn't want to be with them anyways because you have to have some sort of openness and willing to see the weird and the profound and be like, hey, this is okay because there's some weird shit out there.
Yeah.
So I was watching Jeffrey Epstein, actually, and that was a little overboard. I'm not about that stuff, but the crap I was on that documentary was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I watched part of it. I kind of lost interest. I don't have any.
I watched
Desired.
it because of the sugar dating. I was like, oh,
Why is that?
well, like I feel that there are men out there who were very similar to him in that I've dealt with it. Like they think that nothing is above them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so they get very demanding and they're rude and they're narcissistic. And, I was like, oh, I wonder if I could maybe learn something on how to deal with somebody like that. Mm-hmm. And you just can't. I mean, they're just going to do whatever they want to do. But, I was like, well, if I could figure out a way, so this is what I'm researching right now for the show, is figuring out a way to help girls get out of situations and help men, because there's abusive women out there that will like take advantage of a man. You know what I mean?
That kind of leads into this listener letter that we had this week.
All right. Well,
there you go.
let's dive in. That's a good segue.
There you go.
Do you want to read it, or you
Great
want me
segue.
to?
I'll read it. It says, hello, or hi, something like that. My name is Lisa, and I've been listening to your podcast, and I'm really enjoying it. I was wanting to share an experience I had on the website that could help other women. Initially, I had one very good experience on the site, which lasted for approximately a year. When that arrangement came to an end, I rejoined the site and soon met a very nice man. I live in Toronto, Ontario. He lives in Windsor, Ontario. It's a 4-hour drive, so we could only see each other once a week. The arrangement was he paid my rent as well as he gave me a weekly allowance, and he often bought me gifts when he would visit. That was great for about 6 months, and then I started to notice some odd things. For example, I was at a girlfriend's home downtown, and we came out about 1 a.m., and I noticed his car parked out front on the street. While I was looking to see if that was truly him, he quickly drove away. That's a little bit...
That's really creepy.
yeah, that's a little creepy right
Stalker.
there. At that point, I started noticing the stalking behavior a lot. Long story short, these situations started to creep me out, so I ended it with him. He didn't take the breakup well. He showed up at my home and stood in my driveway crying, saying that he loved me and he couldn't be without me. After that, he started sitting on my street for hours. He would also show up to my job where I was working as a bartender. He got me fired from that job by coming in and throwing a bunch of papers everywhere. He had photocopied pictures of me and started throwing them around. That man has problems. And I have so much to say, but I want to finish this letter first. I have so much I want to address on this.
There's a guy, there's a story that I have, because there's a guy that sounds so familiar to this. And I actually went out with him a couple of times because I just wanted to hear his story, because he would like let it a little bit. And he told me, and it was so much like this.
All right. Then he started showing up and sitting out in front of my son's school. At that point, I contacted the police. The police searched my phone and car, trying to figure out how he knew where I was at all the time. They ended up finding he was tracking my phone and my car. His company made security software for banks, so he was very tech savvy. Thankfully, we were able to find out and remove or block all of the trackers. About a month later, he went into a police station and tried to file a police report saying that I had committed fraud against him. He said I pretended to like him in order to take money and gifts from him. He gave them a detailed list of every dollar and gift he'd ever given me.
Oh my God. Wow. Holy shit.
This guy's got issues.
Unstable.
Yeah,
Wow.
very unstable. He said that he had given all of this to me for fraudulent reasons. The police came to my home. I explained to them what the situation was. The police officer kind of smirked and said, "Yes, we get a lot of this. Clearly nothing came of that." He continued sitting outside of my home. Additionally, he started contacting people I knew, right down to the mechanic who did my oil change. He got me fired from 2 more jobs.
Oh my God.
This went on for about 3 years. I eventually had no choice but to move and not only change my number, but get a whole new phone, as I feared he must still have some way of tracking my old one. I also changed the elementary school my children went to. Fortunately, he has not found me again. It's been 4 months since all the changes. This experience was really terrifying. I was scared for my kids' safety as well as my own. I felt I was living a nightmare for the last 3 years. I'm sharing this story so that you can tell your listeners that it's very important to look for any red flags that might indicate mental illness.
Oh my God. Dude, that is the craziest story. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that is the scariest.
But you know what?
That
Showing
sounds like
up at
a Lifetime
at
movie.
Yes, exactly.
You
Showing
get men like this that are just
school?
mentally unstable. I mean, we've kind of dealt with some situations with some mentally unstable men, and
like attacking the
And-
show, attacking you.
yeah, and then Amy, that men are professing their love for you, and you're like, they don't even know me.
Yeah,
I've seen
they've
your
done it to
and then Lily,
Lily.
you've met a gentleman, and now you're still in good terms with him, but my gosh, he's already after an hour he thinks he's in love with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't know you.
No.
You don't know me.
We've literally been on one date, and he's texting me that,
He loves you.
yeah.
Oh man.
And I think he's serious.
And he wants to take care of me. And he is serious.
Yeah.
So that's
Is that a red flag for you gals?
Absolutely. It should be. We just read the letter of what potentially could happen. Now, I'm not saying it's always going to happen like that. Why take that risk? Cut it off. I say, Lily, I say cut it off. I say don't do it.
Well, I wouldn't say cut it off yet, but walk with caution, because that's kind of a red flag.
I think that's
Like men who
I think
profess
that's
their
worth
love.
2 red flags. To me, that's 2 red
We've
flags.
just been on the one date, but we have talked a lot on the phone. We
Okay.
text every day. It's just, it's really way too soon for him to have that strong of feelings. It's way too soon.
And that's what makes
what I told him.
women run the other direction. Men, if you want to be different than all the other men, don't be doing that shit. Because
Yeah.
a lot of men fall in love too quickly. I know I've even like gone out with a girl one day thinking, oh my God, this girl's like perfect. And then, and then all
and
of
then
a
you get
sudden,
in the sack and it's like,
well, no, actually she was perfect because she was great in bed and everything, the whole package.
that's what it is.
And then,
That's how you get to his heart.
yeah, that's part of the
Through
way.
his dick. That's what you got to do.
But you can't just let your emotions go and your heart open that quickly, because you got to know there's no way to know a person for the first 4 to 6 months. You can't really get to the bottom of who they really are, because it's all the honeymoon period. We're all acting on our best behavior. You haven't seen their good side. You haven't seen their bad side. You haven't seen when they're sad, they're depressed, they're going through a lot, they're going through their period. You haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because these emotions that women have are all over the place. And if you judge by one date,
Not that it's a bad thing.
No,
we
it's just
are very hormonal.
no,
like we
it's
have,
life.
Yeah.
It's a part of life. And so you've got to understand life.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really get to know someone unless you spend significant amounts of time with them face to face.
Yeah.
And even, I mean, the best test is travel with someone.
Well, yeah, that is
Go on a weekender
That's
and
like the
see
ultimate
how
test,
that
I think.
goes.
right.
And if that's not terrible, then maybe do.
But I get it.
longer
Men,
one.
you know, Lily is looking for love. You wouldn't mind finding love. Men are looking for that too, even
Yeah.
though it's a sugar dating site.
It's out there.
There's plenty of men wanting to fall in love. And I get it. Why wouldn't you? Like, it's a fairy tale thing. The problem is that fairy tale only happens for about 1 in 100,000 people. So what happens to the other 99,999 of us? We're all still searching, trying to figure that out, because there's no one person that's going to fulfill all your needs. It's like having one best friend. That's the only best
But
friend
at
that
the
you can
same
have.
time, at the same time, I'm going to speak to you two.
Oh,
At the same
here we
time,
go.
you guys are looking for love, you know, and I get that. I respect that. You guys are having fun. I love that. But if you spread yourself too thin, you're not giving a fair opportunity. You're not even manifesting that. You're
No,
not,
but you got to let these
I was gonna say
relationships
the same
grow.
thing.
You
Yeah.
have to let them grow.
But you can't. How can you let something grow if your attention is divided?
Yeah.
Among
But you can.
so-
But you absolutely
No,
can.
you
I
can't.
can't.
No,
She's
you
right.
can't.
I've been experiencing that. I really have.
You can't. You may think so, but
I disagree.
Marcus, I disagree. Let's agree to disagree because
let's say I have a really great meal. I love sushi.
we're not talking about a
No.
meal.
But I
This
have
is gonna
sushi and
turn
I
to ice
really
cream
love
any minute
sushi.
now.
Okay.
But
love
I don't
sushi.
want sushi every single day, but I love sushi. And just because
Yeah.
I don't have sushi every single day doesn't mean I don't like sushi and I
Okay.
don't crave sushi
So-
and I don't want it in 3 or 4 days.
So can you stick with one type of sushi every single day? Can you do that? Can you do one type of sushi and one dumpling? Like, can you do
No.
that?
I'm so confused right now.
No.
So there are different types of sushi. Like what I'm saying is,
No, I'm
you
just saying
like-
that style of meal. Some days I want pizza and I really start craving pizza, but
That's
I don't
great.
want pizza every single day because pizza doesn't fulfill all my needs. And all
I get that, but
and people-
how many?
So you need to be a polygamist.
No, I tell you, people, what they need for their needs is different. Like,
I get it. Like I want somebody that can eat me out, and then I want somebody that like enjoys BJ's, right? Like I love that, and then I need somebody that just like I don't know that worships my feet. Like I don't know.
but I'm not.
I want
I'm
that
not saying.
all to be the same person.
I feel like that's just a.
But I'm not saying you can't get there. But you cannot get there from the very beginning. You have to let it grow,
But
and you
if
have to
you're
let
spread
it.
out amongst so many people, though, how do you keep focus? How are you allowing that opportunity? Because you say there's a next bus in 15 minutes, which is great. That's fine. I respect that. Like, I get it. At the same time, though, are you actually like trying?
I guarantee you.
Or are you just giving up and just being like, okay, that's it? I mean,
Lily's made it clear with the people that she dates that they're not the only one that she dates.
Yeah.
I guarantee you she has guys that she enjoys more than others.
right.
But she still likes going out with the others.
Well, let's get her perspective because she said she's just
Yeah,
coming
no.
to this realization.
No, so I have been serial dating, let's call it that. I've been going out with a different guy every day of the week. And
But it's some of them you've seen them multiple times.
some of them, yes, some of them I've seen multiple times. But what's happening is I'm not focusing on the potential for any single one of them. And so I want to say I'm looking for my person. I want to say I want a monogamous, fulfilling relationship. But how am I going to ever get there if I don't
Change your way of thinking.
Yeah, but you start
Focus on
but you
someone.
start clearing your schedule for the one that you're most interested in. Like when they ask you out on a certain day, you put everybody else to the side because that's the one you're most interested in. But you don't want to put all your eggs in that basket because they could be gone tomorrow. And then what happens? You wasted all that time and it went nowhere.
But is it a waste of time? I mean,
If you feel it, is it a waste?
I have a
Because-
feeling you're getting so spoiled now, having so much fun that if you went out once a week, the other 6 days would be hella boring for you.
say that again.
You've been going out 5-6 days a week.
Yes.
And having a great time.
I have.
A lot of fun. You're meeting a lot of people. You're learning a lot. You get something from every single person. I derive pleasure speaking to different people because I get different things out of each person. They fulfill my life in different ways, and I really enjoy that. If you all of a sudden now you're just waiting on that one person, and then it's like starting to not work out, the other 5-6 days, you're gonna find yourself going crazy.
But at the same time, at least she's trying.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
She's trying. She's giving
but
that
you-
person the right opportunity.
I know, but you don't want to get to that point
But she
until
won't-
2
but
or 3 or 4 months down the road.
But she won't know he's wrong unless she tries. If she's spread out amongst all these, what we're trying to say is, if you're spread out amongst all these other people, you're not really trying.
Yeah, you are, because you're going to know what you like in that person versus
No, because
the other
if
person.
they say one wrong thing, you're just going to be like, "Oh, I'm done." Is it?
No,
Like,
that's
it's. I'm not saying that's going to exactly happen. I'm saying it's like that. Does that make sense? Like, I mean, I feel like we're making sense.
well, of course you do. You're on the other side of the aisle.
Exactly. Yeah, we're right across from you.
No,
You're
I
not
am.
seeing it from my point
I
of
am
view.
experiencing that. I do feel like I'm spread too thin, and I feel like I'm not giving.
Maybe a good question is what do you feel? What do you guys feel is too much? Maybe like 2 or 3 people is okay. You know, like for me, I can't go over 2 people. 2 people for me is all I can handle.
And that's fine.
I've tried 3, but what is it? Maybe that's what you need to define for yourself. like you said, maybe 5 or 6 guys in 1 week is too much for you.
I feel like I'm conducting interviews almost.
Yeah.
For these
On my
the
dates.
the dates. Yeah.
Because a lot of them, I don't see them again. And
Yes,
it's not that they weren't a good person. It's not that they didn't,
It just wasn't there.
go out of their way to provide me with a nice date. But if it's clear
Yeah.
that there's not a connection, then
They have no kavorka.
I just, I don't see them again. So it's not like I'm juggling 5 or 6 guys at the same time because I'm doing the process of elimination, I guess.
Right.
Right.
So you've got maybe 2 or 3 that you've seen multiple times right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But are these guys that you would consider dating, or are they just guys that's like, hey, you know what? We're still having fun. I'm still looking for those guys that potentially could be, that you feel something, that really feel something.
No,
What are you looking
if I go on multiple dates with a guy, there's a potential there. I'm not just doing it because I'm bored. I'm not just doing it to entertain myself. If I'm going to go out with you multiple times, then I obviously want to explore
Right.
what could develop.
So then why are you continuing to see all these other people?
Because it's so new. It's very new in the
Because of what he said about if
You're worried they could just
just up and disappear and ghost me, then I have
start all over.
right. So
I
it is
have a
it
backup
is-
plan. Is
Yeah,
that a good
right.
way to say it?
No, you say whatever. Yeah. No,
A
I
backup
get it.
plan.
Well, and she's also enjoying getting to know different personalities.
And I've got FOMO. I've got fear of missing out on my perfect guy.
FOMO is fear
And
of
so
missing
I'm
out.
so scared if I start focusing on these maybes and I cancel with somebody else who's professed interest, that might have been my perfect person.
There is no perfect person. I hate to break that to you.
Don't burst my bubble.
I know, but there isn't. And once you realize that, then life and dating becomes a lot easier because now we're not searching for that mythical perfect person.
Somebody once told me, and I mean, this was like the best. They were actually my roommates, but they were 70 years old. And I lived with them, and they became my best friends. I was like the daughter they never had. They met. They were both retired. One was a retired school teacher. The other one was a retired sergeant. And the best advice they gave me, because I was like, why you guys you guys got married so late in life. Neither one of them had ever been married before. And I was like, what happened? And they said, it's kind of crazy the way we met, but they both have talked about this. And they were like, at some point in my life, I was looking for the perfect one. And then all of a sudden they were like, she was like, well, I just changed my way of thinking. And she's like, instead of finding my perfect one, find somebody whose flaws that are acceptable.
Right.
It's going to irritate me, but can I live with that?
Yeah. Yep.
And
That's a good rule of thumb.
yeah. And it was really great advice. I mean, I've been trying to work my way towards that because we all have this, what is that, Cinderella complex? Mm-hmm. I think it's called Cinderella complex, about the man on the white horse, like our knight in shining armor. That's perfect in every way, shape, or form. And
I know. And is it crazy that I'm in my 50s and I still want to find my...
it's not.
No, it's not
My
crazy
white
at all.
knight.
It's not. I think it's so adorable. It's so good. Like, you got to hold on to that because there's so many people out there who, and I know that you've been divorced, that they're broken beyond compare, and they lose that ability to love.
They just give up.
They give up, and you're not. Don't ever give up because it is out there. Maybe just change a thing, go slow. Change one thing right at a time until it happens. And when you least expect it is when everyone says that is when it's going to happen.
Expect it, right?
Yeah, but
it's because you don't force it.
yeah, exactly.
When it's least expected is because you're not trying to force yourself
right.
to find that one person.
And you're not putting pressure on them
But-
to be like, oh, you're not rushing into that relationship, right? I think that's where that.
But then you got the old analogy: the more times at bat, the better chance of getting a hit.
Well, you don't
So you
need to
have
be.
to-
You don't need
you
to be
have
at
to s-
bat 200 times.
But you need to step up to the plate as many
Yes.
times as you can. Yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
I believe so.
You can hit
Which
a
I
home
feel
run.
is what I've been doing. I've been
Yeah.
stepping
And-
up
Wait,
to the
what
bat.
is this another thing?
Analogy.
Yes. Jesus, what does that mean? What does that mean?
You have to put yourself out there. You
No,
can't
but
just
what
be
did she
staying
just
home
say?
doing nothing.
I've been stepping up to bat.
Well, yeah, and people ask me, so here I am 54, and I'm as active as I ever was, and I'm going out as much as I ever have, and I'm still doing as many things as I possibly can, and they're like, why? How are you doing all this? Well, it's a huge FOMO right now. Maybe I am living my midlife crisis.
Probably talking about your dick. How can your dick do it?
Yeah, that too, right?
Like, how is your dick keeping up with this? Because most guys are like, I gotta.
One of my buddies at the club says, that thing's gonna fall off. I was like, well, we're gonna have fun trying to make it fall off.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, that's good.
No, but I mean, what do I have? A good 15, 20 years left of, I don't know.
I feel the same
25?
way.
It's
I
don't know.
feel like I want to live my best life
Yeah.
because how many years do we have left, really?
Right.
Yeah.
And it could be gone tomorrow. Like,
I'm
how
not-
many times have we had tragedy just enter our lives? Like, somebody we read and they're like 47 and they just all of a sudden were diagnosed with cancer and they're gone in 3 months. And you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
No, that
My
just
dad
recently
was
happened to a
like
friend.
that.
I
He
know.
was-
You just never know,
he-
right?
he was in his 40s. They found him on the floor. 3 months later, gone.
Yeah. So I am enjoying life, and I want to enjoy life with as many people as I can. And I'm telling you, just the pleasure I have of meeting people, of hearing their stories, of maybe having a little impact on their lives. I have a story of somebody that I reconnected with after like 2.5 years. We dated 3 or 4 times. And right during COVID, right when everything shut down, it was my birthday, and she was supposed to come over for my birthday, and I couldn't get a hold of her, and she was just gone, like ghosted me. Well, 2.5 years later, I see her on the site. I'm like, hey, how are you? And she answered me.
Did she remember you right away?
Of course, how do you forget me?
Okay. Wow, the room just got really small. Somebody's head just got really big.
No, I'll tell you why she remembered me. I told her something that changed her life. So remember the girl that I told you that I really liked? She was adorable. The sex was good. But she talked. On our first date, she talked for 2 hours
Oh,
solid.
yes.
Never asked me one question, never even addressed anything about me. It
Never
was
took a
all about
breath.
her. Really, she almost didn't take a breath. For 2 hours, I sat there and just stared at her and listened to her life and listened to everything. And I let it go because, well, maybe I was a little bit horny that night. I don't know. I just want to get her. I don't know.
Did she have a couple of drinks?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Oh, yeah. We had plenty of drinks.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
But anyway, so I took her home. We had a great time. She was adorable.
How did you shut her up?
That's funny.
But yeah.
So anyway, she goes home, and I said, hey, I really enjoyed tonight. You're a great person. You're incredible in bed. But can I just give you a little constructive criticism? Because I want to see you again, but I enjoy a more balanced conversation. Like, you know nothing about me.
That was
And not that you have to know anything about me, but you literally talked for 2 hours and never even asked me a single question. So we went out again, and you know what she did?
What?
She looked right at me and started asking me questions about me and my life.
Oh.
And then I answered her, and then I asked her stuff, and then we got to be bantering back and forth, and it was so nice. Anyway,
Flash forward.
flash forward 2.5 years, she ended up getting into a relationship, actually a couple of them, and that's kind of why she just, anyway, whatever happened.
Right.
So we went out the other night, and she looked fantastic, just as good as I remembered. And we just instantly bonded because we didn't have that getting to know each other period.
Yeah.
We already knew each other. And we're sitting there having drinks, and she looked at me, and the conversation was going amazing. Like, she was asking me these questions. She's looking at me, and in my head, I'm thinking, this is pretty incredible. Like, she really did take my advice. And she looked at me, and she goes, you remember a couple years ago when you told me that I talked for 2 hours and never asked you a question? I said, yeah, I do. And I can tell that you've really made a big change. She says, that changed my life. I didn't realize it was that bad. I knew my friends told me I talk a lot, and she's in sales. She goes, it's helped me in my sales. It's helped me with my personal life. It's helped me with everything.
Yeah.
Isn't that a cool story?
I think that's amazing. I mean, you've told me before, like, you talk over people.
Right. sometimes, and you've done a better job of trying not to do it. And it's not meant in a negative way.
Well, I'm not trying to be mean when I do it.
Oh, I know you're not. It's completely innocent, and you're very genuine, and then you wear your heart on your sleeve, and you just get to going, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes we just gotta be cognizant of our surroundings and other people and how to basically interact with them to make them feel inclusive and not disrespected. You know,
I think that's really amazing. That's really quite
It's a great
special.
story.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I really enjoy about meeting all kinds of different people. Because I tell people all the time the story of the Chinese farmer, because that story, and you can look it up on YouTube. I talk about it so much, I should put a link to it on our website. I'll do that. But it's such a great little 1-minute story about life and how bad things happen. But you got to look at them like this could possibly be a really good thing for me.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, and most of the time it is. Believe it or not, there's something good almost out of every bad situation. Something good comes from that. And when you realize that, when you experience that, and when you know that, and when you have real life examples that you can share with people, it can make a profound difference on their lives. Because somebody had told me the story, and I thought about it, and I related so many things in my life to this story. And now I tell other people about this story, and they're like, no, I've never heard that story. And I kind of tell them the story, and then I tell them how I got fired from a restaurant job. I was making like 50 or 60 grand a year, and people were saying, oh, I'm so sorry you lost your job, your health insurance, you don't have any employment now. This was a bad time because you just bought a house, blah, blah, blah. I'm so sorry this happened to you. It was the best thing that ever happened to me because I got my real estate license. I started flipping homes, and I made 6 times the income in a year. Quintupled my income 5 or 6 times. So, and I've never looked back. And I look back and I'm like, that as hard as a month period that was, where I was trying to figure out where the hell I was going to go with my life, it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
And you weren't afraid to get off your ass, though, you know?
No, you can't sit there and cry about it.
Yeah.
You gotta figure, okay, this didn't work. So there's a door that just shut, and there's so many open doors waiting for you to walk through them. So many.
This is what just happened to me, you know? Like, I'm sure, you know, we all know that I haven't been on the show for a while because I'm going through some shit, right? And I quit SA because I've just, like, those doors were just shutting in my face. Like, just guy after guy was just, you know, and even Marcus knows. I guess I don't think I'd met you yet, but
No.
Marcus knows. Like, I was giving it. I wasn't out seeing many people. It was like one guy at a time, and I was just trying to, you know, because it wasn't working before seeing multiple people. So
Yeah.
but they just kept shutting. It just was shutting the door, slamming in my face, and
It's a lot to navigate.
it is.
And I don't know if it's a lot from both sides, the male and the female side, but I say from the female side, it's a lot to navigate.
It's both, but I feel for the females because they can be dropped at any time.
Yeah.
The
And
men,
that's
men have the money. The men have the success. They can move
Yeah.
on. The females, it's a little bit harder.
Well, he even
ones that are on the site.
He even went to drinks with me and one of my guys. And this guy, like he was all about me. Like just he seemed like he was so smitten with me. And then boom, disappear. I have no idea why he.
Well, you guys
disappeared.
communicated for a while, but he never came through with any of his promises, and then it just kind of faded, and bam, gone.
Yep, bam, gone. And that's just been happening time. So I gave up. And I'm, you know, like, girls, if you feel this, like, you know, I think it's maybe the universe trying to tell you, like, hey, step into something else. Because as soon as I stepped into something else, I know Marcus can probably see a big difference in the way.
You just had to make some changes, just a little bit of change of scenery, change of direction, change of mindset.
Yeah. And I applied,
reset your goals.
I will say, like, this meeting, the one thing that I take away from all this is I got to meet, just like Marcus is saying, meet some really amazing guys, really high quality people, right? And I think that's what helped me nail my interviews. I really do. I mean, I've got job offers coming.
You're a lot more confident now.
Yeah, definitely.
You're so much more confident.
Yeah.
And doors are starting to open left and right for you now.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. And I just needed that. And, you know, like the guys that have been in my life these past 2 years, like while I've been in school, and I'm still in school, right? I've got 2 years left. But if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here. There's just no way I would be here. I wouldn't be where I'm at.
You'd be on a different path. And so that's what I'm saying. lives change by the people you meet, the things that you say, the things that you do for that person. It literally changes lives. Yeah. Lily knows that.
Right. I think, but the advice that you guys, I think men have been down this road so much. I think that's why I like dating older people, and I like dating successful people, is because they've been strung through the shit. You know, they've been stepped on. They never give up. Right. And I think that's the biggest thing. And that was so deep. Oh,
all right.
So sweet.
Well, this all kind of stemmed off of this letter of...
we get... This is your first time you've ever done something. We just...
we really went on some tangents, but it all came from kind of the red flags and, what to avoid. And I forgot about that. Yeah, I feel bad for...
I thought we were being positive here.
No, but hopefully something good comes out of this, and she learns kind of how to detect this earlier in future relationships, and if she sees it coming. Yeah.
Because I think crazy. Like, people need to realize, men and women really need to realize, because there on the men's side, there are women that will blackmail the husbands, like, big time.
Yeah, it goes both ways. I went on a date with a gentleman who, I asked him, I said, he was married. And I said, you have been sugar dating. So, like, what happens if one of these women falls for you and tries to blackmail you? And he's like, it has happened to me. Oh. Yeah. He had one who he didn't meet her on the site. He met her at work.
Oh, this is a coworker.
Yes. This was a coworker.
Oh my gosh.
And they carried on for quite some time, and he wanted to end it because she was getting very insistent that he divorce his wife for her. And he wasn't ever going to do that. And she told everyone in the office, she told the wife, like, she really tried to really ruin his marriage and his career. And he had a very high profile career. She definitely did some damage. So yeah, it can go both ways.
Yeah, you don't swim in the office pool.
Could be
There's shit where you eat, man.
Yeah. Female stalker or a male stalker. But the same thing could happen off the site too. If somewhere, like, that guy got obsessed with her and got her fired from 3 jobs.
That's crazy.
And she was scared for her kids' lives.
Well, he was showing up at their freaking thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, with the guy that we've struggled with, he's tried sabotaging the show even. And Marcus hasn't done anything to you. If anything, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing, but this guy's just an idiot. I don't understand what
mental health issues.
Yeah. But, like, how do you,
sometimes it takes forever to see that. I know who you're talking about. And I had gone out a couple of times with that same person, and it took a little bit for me to realize there were some significant mental health issues that he really needed to get under control if he wanted to date anyone on or off the site. And he didn't take it well when I didn't want to see him anymore, but it was kind of scary.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, it is scary. It's very scary. And
yeah. So if something in your gut's telling you, be careful of this one, shut it down, or put them.
Yeah. You know what's really hard about that, though, is when you are struggling through hard times, I feel like you're willing to put up with more. Yeah. And it's hard to, like, your mind and your gut are constantly in battle with each other, because I've experienced that. I'm sure you guys have too. It's like you want something and you're willing to just kind of talk yourself out of it, and it can be very brief and quick, right? Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why you talk so much in past episodes of why you're getting your degree and why you're going to become successful. So even if you wanted to still sugar date, now you can do it because you aren't needy, and you're doing it, you're not desperate, and you're doing it because you enjoy meeting the higher class gentlemen.
I have been on Hinge, and I can tell you, I'm so bored. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, Lily and I just had this discussion. She thinks that she's almost become corrupted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do.
Because
but in a
now,
good way.
Yeah, in a good way, because now she may have a date with somebody off Facebook or a date with somebody off of Seeking. Which one does she choose?
Exactly. And I struggle with that.
Have you been on a regular date since you've been?
Yes.
And how did that go?
Good. But if
what was it different? Did it feel different?
not really, because I'm a really straightforward and genuine person. And so I give every single person that I interact with the real me. And so it doesn't matter if I met them on Seeking or I met them on Facebook dating or I met them on Tinder or Hinge or Bumble. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to be
very sexually.
I do.
I'm asking. Do you?
Do I speak sexually?
Oh, so no, they bring it up.
They do.
When men get sexual with you through texting and messaging.
Oh, and that's not.
That doesn't change?
That's not just the Seeking guys. That's like.
Oh, of course it's not.
It doesn't matter what site you're on. Some guys go straight to that. And I'm like, slow your roll. Honestly, that's not how you get to know somebody. Within the first couple of messages, you're sending a dick pic.
Men, stop that.
Yeah, stop doing that.
No.
I mean,
Just stop.
eventually I'm going to want to know what I'm working with, but I don't need that to be within our first.
It's not your make or break decision on if you go out with this person.
No, not at all.
Because that doesn't have a personality.
Well,
That's not what they're showing in public.
Yeah, exactly.
For the most part.
And I like the surprise. Like, I don't want, sometimes I don't like the surprise, but, like, for the most part, it's like, I like somebody that plays a little hard to get. Why do you have to just, like, want to show me right away?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to, just because you send me that, I'm not going to show you my vagina. Like, no,
No.
you're not seeing my boobs. I'm sorry, but no.
But men, listen up. It's scientifically proven that women are attracted to men whose feelings are unclear.
Oh, man.
Seriously, women like a little bit of a challenge.
In the beginning.
If you're just putty and you do anything they want, you're not a challenge.
no, that's true.
It's
agree.
so true.
In the beginning. I don't want to.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. In the
Yeah.
beginning, when you're trying to develop a relationship and you're trying to develop feelings, you're trying to develop attractiveness, and you want this girl to like you, you can't just lay out all your feelings and make everything known and profess your undying love for somebody you've been on 2 dates with, because now they've lost the attraction for you because they know your feelings.
Yeah. Be stoic.
Well, and because it's too soon.
It's too
right?
soon.
Because that's a
You've
red
got to give them a
flag.
little bit of a few crackers here and a few
But do
crackers here
girls-
and lead them to the house.
Do you find that same for girls?
No, I hate that. I'd rather know that a girl's interested in me, because
Right away?
a girl that's chasing you is not dumping you. And your goal as a man is to have girls wanting you and chasing you, because those are the ones that are not wanting you. You want a girl that makes it easy for you. You don't want to have to be like begging a girl to go out with you. For instance, the one that I told her that she had talked for 2 hours.
Yeah.
We went on a date the other night, and I said, well, and we figured out a night that we were free. And I said, okay, what time's good for you? She says, tell me what time and where, and I'll be there. I love that so much, because now she's helping you. Girls that like you will help you. Girls that are 40, 50, 60% interested, they're the ones that leave you on red for a day.
So have you guys ever
and they're
met?
chasing them, and I don't want to be chasing them. I'm going to give you some offers. I'm going to let you know that, hey, I'd like to see you, but if I'm having to chase you down, it's frustrating.
My experience has
And
been
I'm just not gonna do it.
My experience has been very different. I feel that a lot of the guys that I've been with, they like a girl that's just not quite.
No,
That's a little.
no, I'm too busy. And if somebody's not showing reciprocal interest in me, then I'm going to move on, because I can't force my love on them. I can't force them to like me. I can't force them to be attracted to me. No matter what I do, I could have $1 billion. And all the girls on here have already said, you know what, the money is nice, but it's not everything. And there's just some people I cannot be with just because they have
Yeah.
money.
Exactly.
So we know that's not the ultimate factor. What money does is it gives us that initial first opportunity. What good looks does for a man is it gives them a first opportunity, but then they have every opportunity to blow it after that, and many do.
Yeah.
There's plenty of great-looking men that you guys have gone out with, that other women have gone out with, and they're like, he was boring, or our personalities didn't match. I don't care how good-looking he is. Mm-hmm. He's just not my guy. I just don't want to go out with him. So what the money does for us on Seeking is it gets our foot in the door. But then the men still have to put in the work and still have to know how to treat a woman, know how to talk to her, know how to make love to her. They can't just expect, a woman to fall in love with them just because they have some money.
Yeah.
I
think one thing that I've, sorry, my ADD's kicking really bad, guys, but play on that. Like, I want all of that in a guy. One thing I found out recently, I want a guy that can fucking make me laugh. Like, belly
huge
laugh.
That is big.
We talked about that last episode or episode before. You asked me what I was looking for.
I have not listened to episodes. I don't listen to
I want someone funny.
And men, if you're not a funny person, there are plenty of YouTube videos that
make yourself funny.
No, there's plenty of how to start a conversation that is somewhat humorous and how to be
what's your guys' thought on
lighthearted around a woman and just have fun with the conversation.
So, but there are different types of humor because I sometimes am attracted to dark humor.
I have a guy and he is not an essay guy and we date occasionally. And he has dark humor. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's humor is a little different.
His humor is condescending, like critical, but he's just being funny.
Yeah. It's like going to one of those restaurants where they tell you to shut the fuck up and sit down and
and the breakfast bitch.
Yeah, I love those places, right? That's dark humor. That's, and they're doing it in a funny way, but they're not smiling when they do it. They're looking at you like, why are you bothering me here?
I couldn't do it without a smile. I couldn't do it without laughing, but I don't know. Yeah, so I think that's really great. Okay, next letter.
I know we're running out of time, but I got another letter here. Let's address it before the end of the show here. All right, it says, hi there. First off, I'd like to thank you for all you do to help newbies like myself explore the world of sugar dating and get excited to dive into the pool. I am new to the site. I haven't even activated my profile yet, and I'm needing some advice on how to address being a mother in this lifestyle. I'm a 30-year-old single mom to a lovely 3-year-old. I want to be upfront and honest about my time restrictions and the possibility of not being able to travel. Should I put in my profile that I have a child or wait until I meet and agree to address this? Have you ever had an experience dating a single parent? How should I best address this so it's not a turn potential sugar daddies off, but still be open and transparent about what I can and cannot accommodate? Thank you again and keep up the great work on the podcast. Abby, you're in a very common situation. There are so many single mothers on there, and that's why they're on there, is they do need the help. They do need the financial help, and they are looking for possible romance or just some exciting times out, because being a mother is tough.
Being a single mom is
really
tough.
Is even tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be upfront about it. There is a spot that says, how many children you have. And some people put that they, what is it?
Prefer not to
say, which that says that they have children.
Kids,
you just don't know how many. I've gone out with plenty of single moms and I enjoy their kids. I actually find once we get to the point where they're comfortable introducing me to the children after we've dated, at least 5, 6, 8 times or whatever, I find myself really enjoying them. But you don't want to just introduce any man to your child. You want to keep that private until you can trust them and know that they have the best intent in their heart. But not having any kids, I found that I really do enjoy kind of being a father figure. Now, I got to be careful with that because, I actually fell in love with some kids, and then, the relationship ended, and I actually found myself missing the kids more than the person, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, but I think Lily could shed some light on this. She's got kids.
I do. My kids are all grown and gone, so I'm not really having to navigate that issue right now. But one of my deal breakers is I don't really want at this age to date someone with small children. And I think I talked about that last episode. Is it's hard because I feel like I want a lot of attention. Your kids come first. So I don't want to take your attention away from your kids. So that, I don't know, that's a bit of a deal breaker for me. For her, I would
But you're in a completely different situation.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
For her, I would make sure that I was dating people who like children.
Well, as you know,
because
Lily.
if anything progresses and develops,
But as you know, men will date just about anybody. You had COVID, and men still didn't care.
No.
Hey, I'm sick as a dog. I don't care. What time can I pick you up at 8?
Yeah.
Men,
And even when I felt better, I was like, I could still be contagious. That's all right.
if men are attracted to you, they will take everything that's associated with you.
I will say, so I did a social experiment because you guys know me and I love to experiment with my profile. I did put on there, I was like, I wonder what would happen. And I think I talked to you about this.
I do remember this.
Yeah, I did put on there that I had kids.
Oh.
And I was like, my time is limited. I do need to be discreet, and I just don't want to like mix my two lives, and I don't need anything happening. And I feel that the men, it's really crazy the different type of men, the quality of men that actually were approaching me.
Yeah, you said you were getting different.
Better quality?
Very different, yeah.
And I don't know if it was better, but it was just different.
I feel like they were just kind of very respectful. They would actually kind of ask questions. I tried to keep it as, because I'm like, okay. I did not want to tell them that, like, hey, this is just an experiment that I'm doing here. Like, So it's all for the podcast, right? So but yes. So I say be very upfront about it. Just be, don't give out their names. Like, just be like, hey, like, I just want to keep like this private. This is just a piece of my life that I'm wanting to keep very separate.
In the beginning.
Well, and even in my situation, because I do have kids and I don't want them to know that I'm sugar dating. So if I meet a guy on Seeking, I'm not going to introduce him as, hey, I met this guy. He's my sugar daddy. There's just no way.
And I think Abby, if you are very just upfront about that, and then, you have to make that decision. But obviously, do not be one of these girls, because I've heard of girls that have dropped the children off with the men. I've had a friend of mine that, like, literally, he had this girl leave the kids with him. They had met, like, maybe a couple of times, and she was like, hey, can you watch the kids? And she left for, like, days and would not. And he was like stuck watching these kids.
Wow, that's a weird story.
I mean, he's a really nice guy, but obviously, like, this is not a woman that. But I would not don't do anything like that, people. Like, girls,
that's horrible.
You guys, obviously, there are.
That was obviously a completely different situation.
But there are obviously people out there that will do that. They will drop their kids off with people and they will just leave. I mean, it happens all the time, you guys.
Yeah.
So, women, don't do that. Men, don't try to like force yourself into somebody's life, I would say, especially when they do have kids, because that's...
I would say for sure keep, until you really know the person, like Marcus is saying, you don't really, really know a person until you've been dating them steadily, regularly for months. And I wouldn't even introduce the kids until you feel that you truly, genuinely know the person. Yeah. And that's someone who's going to be a stable part of your life, and there's going to be some longevity there. I've actually, one of my SA guys wanted to invite me to go to Vegas with his grown children and grandchildren.
Oh.
And I was like, no. It too soon?
Yeah.
Too soon.
How many dates have you guys been on?
That's the guy I've been on one physical date with.
Wow.
But we've been talking on the phone a lot, and we've been
I still don't think that's the same, though. I don't think it's the same.
No, it's not. And he already like wanted to invite me to meet his family. I'm like, why would you do that? And
why
how are
you
you going to tell him we met?
Well, she just saw him for the first time this week.
No.
Wasn't? Oh.
This was a while back. That's the one I sent you guys.
Come on. Man, I'd wash my hands clean of that.
No,
that's red flag number 3. Like, that's, like, seriously, he already professed his love for you. He invited you guys, went out once. He invited you to Vegas with his family and their grandchildren. That's 2, and then I think you said a third one.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
He's going to be extremely needy.
Wait, don't do it.
That's the one that likes to brush my hair.
Yeah, so I just Lily, I don't know what you're thinking, but
he's such a nice guy. Seriously, he's
course.
genuinely nice so far. Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to say this as a friend, all right? Don't be stupid.
right, all
Come
right.
on. I really do. I'm like, that right there. Come on, girl. Like, we're giving free. No, stop. Like, stop.
We got Amy all riled up as usual.
I'm really worried. Like, I'm very genuinely concerned about this because that is red flags. People, write in and tell Lily. Like, give Lily your thoughts because my goodness, girl. Like, no. No. I love you. Like, no. He's
I'm not going to
nice.
say anymore because I don't want to.
We'll keep an eye on that situation.
Yeah.
But
I'm just being very concerned. I did not
He
know that.
already wants to meet you.
he wants to meet me.
I'm not going to say in what context, but
yeah.
but
Well, I want to meet him.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to meet him.
Yeah, I'm not going to say in what
All right, set that
context
up.
because that would give it away. And I'm really big on protecting people's anonymity.
All right. Well, speaking of writing in, this is the end of the show. So why don't you write in and give us your feedback and share your crazy dating stories at our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. And follow us on Instagram, also at Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. And click on the links on our website, too, at the bottom. We have some great resources for you. And I'm going to put that link to the Chinese farmer on there so you guys can share that little story with me. Thank you, Amy. It was a real pleasure. Always a different energy when you're in the studio.
Dun-dun-dun.
Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah.
And Lily, hey, keep plowing. I want to hear more of your stories. And, you're kind of paving the road for people that are in their 50s who think they might be too old to be sugar dating. And you are learning a lot.
I am learning a lot.
And we want to hear your life lessons that you're learning and the good and the bad and what you're finding that's going to be successful and what you're thinking that, this is not so good. So
Okay.
we want to hear everything.
I'll be back next week.
Okay. Until next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.